I picked up this wood canvas from the dollar store and I painted it white. Whenever you're going to put a napkin on a surface, you always want to make sure you paint your surface white. This will keep your napkin very true to its color. So once I removed the backing from the napkin, I applied my Decoupage medium, got a good amount of that all over. Now I'm just going to slide my napkin. Now you pretty much have one chance at this. As you see, I did pull it back up because I wanted that middle flower lined up in the middle. We're going to let that dry and then just take a sandpaper and just edge that extra napkins off. Now here I just use a little bit of ink, brown ink, and this is how I enhance the wrinkles. This just makes it look like it's a canvas rather than a napkin on a piece of wood. Now I wanted to add some texture to this, so I'm ripping up, I think this is a cloth that I got from the thrift store. We're going to rip that up, and then I'm using my coffee. We're going to dye this. I just pop it in the water, squeeze out all of the excess water. Now you don't need to leave that in there long. And if you want it lighter, you can just rinse that even more under the sink. Now you can let this dry like that, or what I like to do is I just scrunch it up and force dry it with my dryer. And that way it just makes it look even more vintage. I'm taking this chain and I'm going to apply it all around the edge of this pumpkin. I'm using fabric tack. It is a great glue. It sets fairly quick, but it gives you time to kind of move things around. I like using that rather than hot glue. Just has a little bit more time to maneuver. Now, if you don't have the chain, you can use twine, you can use string. Just kind of think of whatever you might want to put around your pumpkin. Gonna let that dry. I really think it's cute. Look at that, isn't that pretty? Gives it a little bit of shabby. So I took that fabric that we dyed and I added some pretty pink lace and I just laid it out, tied it in the middle, and we're gonna just make a very raggy bow. This is an earring that I just removed the backing and I'm gonna use that right in the middle. And there you go. Now we have a really pretty pumpkin that was very inexpensive to make. I picked up this little A-frame sign from the dollar store and I'm going to use this digital print and we're going to apply it inside. Now I just use this piece of paper as a template. I marked it and then just cut it out. And we're going to apply that to the inside. And I'm using Decoupage medium. You can also use a glue stick. That would work just fine as well. Just pop that inside. And what's really cool is the other side, you could do a Christmas theme as well. I took some white paint and I call it a spatula, but it's a palette knife. I always want to call it a spatula, but it is a palette knife that I got from the dollar store as well, and just made it look chippy. You could leave it just like this now and have a really nice farmhouse look, but I also wanted to add a little bit of texture to the inside, mostly because I cut it a little too short, so I'm going to hide it with some fabric. You could use twine as well if you wanted. So I just trimmed up these pieces of fabric and I'm just going to glue the inside all the way around. I'm going to use my fabric tack. I love this glue because it really does dry fairly quickly, but not as quick as hot glue. So I'm just going to apply that in. I am twisting the fabric a little bit. I don't want it perfect. I want it to look a little more vintage. Now I decided it needed some ribbon. So I'm just going to put some pieces of fabric. So we've got some cheesecloth, we've got some lace, some dyed doilies, ripped up, nice and shabby. And we're just going to tie it in a knot, glue it all together. Now you could add this to the top, like in the middle. You could put it on the side or even the bottom. Just really play around with it and find the style that you like. So I did decide to put it on the side. Now it was missing some bling, so I pulled out my container of earrings and just found the one that I liked the most. Thrift stores are an amazing place to buy old earrings. You can use them for bling all the time. Just pop that in there, and now we have this really cute A-frame. Now this printable you can find on my website. I will actually link the printable below in the comments. I got this wooden cross from the Dollar Tree and I painted it white. We're going to put a napkin on here, so I'm just going to go ahead and put on the Decoupage medium. And don't forget to remove the backing of your napkins. And then I'm just going to put another coat of the Decoupage medium. And here you'll see this is how I'm trimming it. If you get the edges wet and then just pull it, it comes off. If you're not comfortable with that, you can just definitely use sandpaper. And I like to use a bit of brown ink around the edges, and that just gives it some nice aging. I got this burlap canvas as well from the dollar store, and I'm going to apply some white paint. This is a paint blade, but you can use a credit card. A credit card will work just fine with this. And I'm just applying the white paint. Just let it naturally kind of skip over. We don't want to completely cover it. And don't forget to definitely do the sides. Once we're going to let that dry, I'm going to make this little cluster. We're going to put this in the middle of our cross. And here I'm just taking different textures. We have some cheesecloth, a lot of different little pieces of fabric. Now this is an earring. I love to collect earrings and I use them for bling all the time. And then we're going to glue that onto our cross. This just adds a really nice texture to this. And what I decided to do, I took more cheesecloth and just added a layer to our canvas. I'm using fabric tack to apply it, and I'm just going to put some randomly on the canvas. It doesn't need to completely be covered with glue because we want a little bit of texture with the cheesecloth. Now, if you don't have cheesecloth, you can use a different type of material.